Hello everybody, here we are, and let's simply get started from here on. And as we were working on this, we are gonna be going with the same things. Let me check the status of the live, and then we'll continue from here. The goal is to give 3 hours to this particular thing. We have already given 1.5 hour, not half an hour, 1 hour and 20 minutes. So the duration of this live is gonna be at least 2 hours or something, and that's it. Then it's gonna be done, and hopefully it's gonna be quite enough. Again, it's not like this particular project is gonna be done just right now itself, because we are not just simply building the project, we are gonna be building it in the best way possible. So it might be taking more time, and that is for sure, because within 2 hours it's not really possible. Having said that, I'm gonna be giving my all to get it done as soon as possible. Once this thing is clear inside UI, I have some errors and all, so we'll simply close all of them. And what was the next thing? The next thing was simply creating the UI, and before even creating the UI, I just needed to have the normal page. So this is the page that I have, and if I just simply say RFC, so this is the normal one I have, and here I'm gonna be just simply having some design. So class name BG red 300, because I have tailwind CSS, so it's gonna be looking like that, but this is not the goal right now. CD one step back, ls turbo and dev should be running it. So once this is actually running, I can go to the home page, and then I should be getting the response. The first thing is that font file not found, can't resolve fonts. Okay, so maybe by mistake. Wow, oh, I deleted this font by mistake, and right now there's no way to get that back. What usually it contains, I'm not aware of. So what does the font contain usually inside any Next.js application? So let me do one thing. For getting it back, I will create initialize a Turborepo project again, just for the getting that particular file. So this is gonna be test. So let's simply open this. I will delete it just after that once I get it. So what am I gonna do here? And that's gonna be pretty simple and straightforward, and that is Bunex create Turborepo @latest. I hope this is the one, but Turborepo. I'll have to check this thing out exactly how it works and also get started. Go to the documentation, click on installation, create turbo @latest, not Turborepo. So turbo @latest, this should be fine. Hopefully it will be getting the job done really quick, because I'm using Bun over here. Mostly Bun is fast. I'm gonna be using Bun over here, and this is how it's gonna be going ahead. Meanwhile, I still need to install two things. So somewhere, if I'm using pnpm, so pnpm download installation pnpm, I think this must be npm install, something like that. By the way, I can directly install pnpm like this as well, but apart from this particular thing, npm install pnpm @globally. So this is the command that I have to run, and even this normal command is going to be working fine. Apart from this particular thing, alrighty, let's simply run it over here, and it should be installing that. Apart from this pnpm, I need to have yarn. Let's have all the package managers and simply use them some way or the other. Getting started, and installation, and I need to install this npm install global core pack, and then I'll have to initialize it. So there are two steps ultimately. So this thing is done. So let's go with this one. Then yarn init and to this is how I can just simply then initialize a new project. Okay, so this is how new project is gonna be assigned. That simply means I will have yarn. So let's see, do I have yarn version unsupported package manager? Yeah, that's unsupported, but do I have yarn installed? Okay, right now I have yarn, right? Yeah, that's right. How about pnpm Core pack is about to download this registry from this. Okay, let's allow it. And now even I have the pm version, and that should be enough. Let's even exit from here. Everything else has been what downloaded here or kind of set up here. I can go here and inside app fonts. These are the fonts that I usually have. So what will I do? I will just simply cut it from here. By mistake I actually deleted this from here, this particular section, so I'm just simply gonna remove it, and inside app I'm gonna be just pasting it here. So this does contain the fonts right now, so that's what I wanted. Right now I'm just simply gonna be deleting that too. So the extra, this directory am I talking about? Nope, let's simply remove this. And then which one is this? I think this is the one. Let me close this as well. And coming back to this particular section, I'm gonna be removing this test that I created. So already this job is done, and once this is done, then I should be able to get the right result as well. So control W. Okay, so this is what I'm getting, but what I this is not exactly what I want. Apart from this particular thing, there are many things that I don't even need, so delete them. Same. Okay, this is fine. Better OS tutorial. Let's simply get it. Let's have that just for the reference purpose. And overall, this is even needed. So all these things I need to have over here. Okay. Apart from this particular thing, what is the next thing? Let's simply start it. And coming back to this BG red, this so it should have BG color. And height is gonna be screen. So let's see whether I'm gonna be getting that particular color here or not. And I think I'll have to stop this. Probably how do we stop it? Options. I think this should be fine once it is turned off. I don't even know, like if I click on this dark reader, so okay, I'm getting the option to turn off here. Great. So if I just simply reload the page, I'm still not getting that. So I'm trying to use Tailwind here, but this is not working. So BG height, I think I already have some global CSS, and because of that thing nothing is being applied here. So in that case, let me just remove everything, max, body, everything, color, and all the things are gonna be like this. So better that you remove everything from here. Coming back to this, let me change the color again. That is actually gonna be red and 300. I hope TypeScript is initialized by default, and turns out no. I was saying TypeScript, Tailwind I'm mainly worried about, and that is not initialized. That simply means I will have to configure it on my own. Never expected this thing, but yeah, it is so. So what is the next thing that I can do? Coming back to this particular section, first of all, Tailwind CSS is a framework that allows you this rapidly and all. But next, this way I can just simply get it. And once this is done, then if you don't have an existing project, use create Turborepo to just simply create that. Add Tailwind CSS to your application. So follow Tailwind guidelines. So you can just simply follow the Tailwind guidelines from here. And apart from this particular thing, create a shared Tailwind configuration package. So you will have to even create that. So you will have something called package.json. Okay, it's a shared style post CSS optional. So this is the way to just simply go with the things. And ultimately I will be creating all these things inside UI, and this is how it's gonna be getting done. But first of all, I need to just add everything from here. So let's do it. I already have that created. I will be installing everything needed here. So coming back to this particular thing, stop everything here. ls, and I'm already inside web, so I will just simply install Tailwind CSS, and Tailwind CSS white should be enough. After that, I have to add it inside the white config. I hope I have that. So Control C, white config. Just a minute. I'm not using it with React actually white, I'm actually using it with the Next.js. So let's simply click on this, and with the Next.js I need to install all this stuff. So I'm gonna be installing it again, and this time I'm installing Tailwind CSS, Post CSS, and Post CSS. They are being downloaded. And apart from this particular thing, inside the config, so I have to go to the post config CSS MJS, that it will be created once the installation is done, if I'm not wrong. So right now I don't have post CSS, so I have to just simply wait for the completion. The network connectivity is good. Then why is it taking time? Okay, I'd better just keep my mobile there, but the thing is that there is sunshine, so even if I keep my mobile where there's no good network connectivity, it's gonna be exposed to the sunshine, and that's not gonna be good. Hopefully it's gonna be quick installing it, or let's do it. Don't really have any other option either. Okay, hopefully it's gonna be working fine. Alrighty, error. And what is the error? Can't read properties of. Oh, the thing is that I just forgot to do one thing. I'm actually using bun over here, and I just forgot that. So bun add. Using bun is gonna be quite quick, so it should not be taking time. Bun usually install the things. Wow, it's so quick. So bun is kind of the fastest. So we have this advantage here. Apart from this particular thing, what else do I need to do? Once I have this much, then you should be getting post CSS. We installed it, packages got installed, but after that I will have to create it on my own. So I thought it will be automatically created, but it will not automatically be created. So in that case, let's go ahead and inside web I will just simply create this file, post css config.mjs, and inside this particular file I'm gonna be just simply copying and pasting all the things from here, and that is it. This is how I'm gonna be going ahead. So config plugin @tailwinds css post css, and over here we can configure the stuff. Once that is done, then I will import this in global.css. So I will import Tailwind CSS over there. So coming back to this global app, global CSS. So far I've had these many things. I will just simply import Tailwind CSS, and after that I have to just simply run it. So hopefully right now it's gonna be working fine, but it is not even done yet. I still have to get the remaining configuration ready. But a turbo dev, let's simply try it before even doing anything else. And one more question I had. Okay, this is working. So ultimately we are getting the color and all. The next question is that if I am using BetterAuth for authentication, now if I have WebSocket server, I have a separate WS server, how should I authenticate the user? Because user is gonna be directly authenticated on the main server, but there are gonna be two servers, so user needs to be authenticated there as well, right? So when you use BetterAuth for login but run a separate WebSocket server, the usual approach is to authenticate the WebSocket connection using session created by BetterAuth. So okay, so user logs in BetterAuth, creates session cookie, frontend opens WebSocket connection, WebSocket server verifies the session connection allowed. Okay, your WebSocket server just needs to read the session and verify it. The question is, I will get the session using the session ID. Session ID needs to be sent with the request, and then I will get the session. So let's see how it's gonna be going on. Typical architecture. Example with Next.js plus WebSocket server. So Next.js frontend, BetterAuth API, MongoDB session is stored, WebSocket server, MongoDB session is stored. The question is again, where will that session be stored? Usually it's stored on MongoDB. So WebSocket server and reads WebSocket server reads the session and validates the session. So this is how it's gonna be going on. Send cookies when connecting to WebSocket. So when I'm actually connecting to the WebSocket, at that time browser automatically sends cookie for that domain. So your WebSocket server can read them. How will I read them? So extract the session on the WebSocket server. So WebSocket, here I am, and in this particular case my WebSocket server is running here, and after that await auth API get session request dot headers. So auth, where is this gonna be coming from? It's gonna be coming from dot auth, and this is the backend configuration actually, and maybe I will have to configure it here too. Okay, and once I have auth API get session, it will be getting the headers. So request dot headers, and request actually comes from there, so headers actually contains that, and that's simply return. Okay, socket connection, new WebSocket, and alternative method is JWT token. Another approach is sending token. So from the WebSocket side, say session token. So I'm actually gonna be sending the session token. Once the session token is actually received, I get the token. Better or session cookie method usually easier. Login session is stored in MongoDB. Session cookie is stored in browser. WebSocket request sends cookie. This is what happens when we use JWT session based authentication. Sorry, token based authentication. But we are not doing that. Server verifies the session. Really? Login session is stored in MongoDB. Our session does get stored. Session cookie is stored in browser. WebSocket request sends cookie. So ultimately I'm going to get the cookie, and okay, and once I get the cookie, server verifies the session. So using the cookie I can just simply verify the session, and that is it. If not the session, close that, and this is quite okay. So ultimately best approach is what? The use the better auth session cookie and validate it in the server using API get session headers. So this is how I will be getting the session. Since you mentioned earlier that you are building a meeting app with the sockets, there's a very important pattern used by production apps. They authenticate the WebSocket connection only once. They authenticate the WebSocket connection only once and attach the user to the socket object. I can show you the pattern. It's what Discord style uses. Okay, do it. Get pattern used in real-time apps, chat apps. Ultimately, we'll use BetterAuth, WebSocket, and MongoDB. Browser will send the request to the BetterAuth login. Session cookie stored. Browser opens WebSocket connection. Cookie sent automatically, and WebSocket server validates session. User attached to socket. User attached to socket. After that, every message already knows the user. Every message already knows the user. So ultimately I will be getting the auth. Once I got the auth, I will simply get the session. Once that I have the session, so WebSocket.user is gonna be session.user. So the user that I'm actually getting from the session, that will be stored to the WebSocket, and that's it. That is it, and nothing else. And once this much is done, so extend WebSocket TypeScript. So this way the type is going to be extended. Authenticate socket extends WebSocket user and all, and after that WSS connection, WebSocket connection. I have request. I have now WebSocket is typed. Now WS dot user is typed. So front end this is done because the user is logged in, and better auth the browser automatically sends cookie. WS reads it from there. Now the message are authenticated using a ws.socket.id. So ultimately whenever I get the message, so when am I setting it there? So as soon as I get it, so whenever the connection gets established, so ultimately I'm going to get the session. Once I get the session, I'm going to be saving the user inside the WebSocket, and once the user is actually saved inside the WebSocket, now whenever the next request is gonna come, I will be able to get the user information from the WebSocket, and I'll be able to use that. So socket, this is how it's gonna be working, and that's gonna be interesting. Great. So I am mainly gonna be using WebSocket over here. Last time when I tried to work on this, that was this particular page. Let's come back here. So the last time socket.io was used, the best thing of using socket.io is that it simplifies a lot of things. But here it's better to, because I will build another application over there, I will switch back to the socket.io again. But here what I want to go with a WebSocket. Okay, so this is how we are gonna be going ahead. Again, using WebSocket simply means the work is gonna be more. You will have to configure more things, but okay, yeah, for now it's completely fine. We have already gone with these things. Instance 8080. Okay, so this particular thing is done, and I think I need to keep it here actually. And apart from this particular thing, what else now? So Tailwind is configured properly, so let's simply get rid of this. And then Tailwind CSS. Time to just continue to just simply to the next step. And the next is that create a shared Tailwind CSS configuration, so that I'm actually able to create the packages there. So Tailwind config, this is what it is asking me to create. So Tailwind config package.json, so it will just contain the configuration related stuff. Post CSS, I will have to import it there, it is needed. And coming back to this one, then it is asking me to create the UI package.json. Over there I will have this turbo.json, I will have to just simply have these many things over there. Import prefix UI, so prefix, if I just add prefix UI in the sense, so that simply means I will have to use this UI everywhere, so that's okay. And then after that I have to just simply install it, and once installed, hopefully it will start working. Okay, great. So this is from this particular doc. Coming back to this one, what is this all about? This is all about monorepo. So using shared CNUI in monorepo was a bit of pain. Okay, forget about that. Gonna be using going with the Next.js app button cn. So it's like they are simply telling us about everything, but at the end of the day we have to just run one command here, and that is this npx, or if I am using bun, so bunx bun interpreter shared cn at the latest init monorepo. But we don't want it from scratch actually, so let's simply get rid of this, even this is not needed. Coming back to this one, let me turn on the dark mode. Hopefully it's gonna be applied on this one, or it's not gonna be. Let's simply log in with an ID too, so that I should be getting the option. I think usually I should get an option to just simply turn on the dark mode here, if that's available. So let's see. It's not even forcefully, no, it's not on yet. Right now it is fine. Coming back to this one, so npx create a latest, that's we have already done that. Inside UI islint config mjs package source, I have button card code ts config. This is by default that I get. So integrating shared CN UI, your UI package should have structures like this. Let's come back here, check the UI section over here inside this. So this is the UI, and it has almost the same things. So what is the next thing that I have to do? The next thing is that step 2. Okay, close this. So navigate to your UI packages, and over there I'm gonna be installing Tailwind, PostCSS, and PostCSS. They are required for what? They are required for Next.js, and yeah, they are required mainly for Next.js. But you can go with the mainly for Next.js only. Working with Next.js we do it, right? And the thing is that here they have mentioned everything, and when as they have mentioned everything, so I will have to import that Next.js stuff here as well, and then I can configure it like this. So I will compare both the things here, and as per that I will be going ahead, and definitely I need to install this. So stop everything, ls cd packages /ui ls. Now I'm well that's bad. One step back, cd packages /ui ls, and right now I have to just simply install the packages. So these are the packages. Having said that, there should be bun rather than making it a npm install, bun add, and this is how they are going to be added. So let's simply add all of them. So the installation is quite quick. That's the best thing of using bun. Create post css config, of course I will have to create that. So inside UI only I'm gonna be needing to create a post css. So the same thing I did with I mean this web what setup, the same thing I'm gonna be doing it here as well. So let's simply paste it. This is going to be created. Once this is created, I will just simply do it here. And this is exactly right, because if you go to the documentation of Tailwind, they have mentioned the same thing. So I am sure that this is exactly the right thing. So I will just simply copy it and I'm gonna be pasting it here. And once I've done this much, after that, next create a global CSS file inside source style directory and import Tailwind. So ultimately we will have to create this global.css file on or on inside source. So inside source, I'm gonna be creating that particular file over here, and we have to do it manually because this is not the, this is just a normal UI setup, not exactly the Next.js one and or the React one, and because of that thing we have to configure most of the things directly here. Why are we configuring it? So that we can create components over here and we can just export the components from here and they can be used somewhere else. And this particular thing we have done as well. So I missed one thing. There should be inside styles. So let me create a styles folder as well. So styles, just like this, and global.css, let's simply keep it inside styles. Once I have this, and I think I have already have that. So okay, that's great. At this point I'm gonna be having like this, setting up shared CN. So ultimately Tailwind is here, like Tailwind, I will be able to use Tailwind and all, but again shared CN is yet to be implemented. Coming back to this one, the whole configuration that was mentioned here, first of all do this, that you should have things like this. So let me even check whether I have things like that or not. So package.json, when I'm actually exporting, I'm exporting everything from the current directory. So I will be able to get everything, and whatever there is inside source, all those things are being exported. So it's not like I'm exporting the things one by one, rather I'm exporting them together. And I have even Tailwind config that is not quite required, but it's good to create that if you want. Shared CSS and post CSS config and all, that's fine. Coming back to this particular section over here, once I have created that and I have done everything, then package.json, I'm gonna be exporting everything from list. Again, I don't need to convert the things into list folder. I'm using bun is going to simply export them automatically. Turbo.json and style.css, overall things are fine. So the best documentation is this. By the way, coming back to the next one, this is only for the Tailwind CSS. That simply means this is not for shared CN, so I can close that as well. Setting up shared CN, I'm gonna be setting up like this. So shared CN npx pre-flight checks. Okay, so we'll manually configure shared CN UI for a Turborepo setup. So note that shared CN CLI will not work out of the box in this setup because our UI package isn't based on any specific framework like React or Next.js. You will get an error similar to this. So if I just try to add it here, so we will definitely encounter this error. So npx shared CN at the latest init pre-flight checks verify framework, and we couldn't detect a supported framework. There should be either React or Next.js. They are not here. So we are gonna be doing it manually. So we have to go to inside UI. Once we are inside UI, install recommended dependencies. So these are the dependencies that are mainly required for using shared CN and all. So I'm already inside this, so I'm gonna be just simply getting all of them here. By the way, the command should be bun add, just like this, and all the dependencies that I need, they are gonna be installed. After that, I'm gonna be using this and TypeScript config. I already have this TypeScript config over here. Yeah, I have TypeScript config, but I was asked to create Tailwind config if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I was asked to create Tailwind config. That is another extra step. If you want to go with that, you can do that, and that will definitely work. But for now, we will just simply keep it simple. tsconfig.json, inside that I have to just simply add this particular configuration. So if I go to this UI, and inside this particular UI I have this tsconfig, and this tsconfig stores these many things. And what I'll do here, that I'm gonna be going with this much. And what is the difference between both? Extends TypeScript config from JSON, that is fine. Compiler options base URL, and that's gonna be this. And paths are gonna be @repo source UI. So that's gonna be the normal path. Include source and exclude node modules and this. So what is the problem? All the things are same. The few things are there, that is this dist. I will not even convert it, I will just simply export it from here. Strict null checks, that's true, and remaining things are completely fine. So even if I go with this, should be alright. And but there is this problem, base URL deprecated will stop functioning in TypeScript 7 and all. So better just simply get rid of this, and paths are gonna be @UI and everything. So inside UI whatever I have, so that's gonna be for the source and all. And even if I don't keep it, that's completely gonna be fine. So that should be understandable too. So what is the use of this path? I'm gonna be just simply commenting this for now. If it doesn't work later, I will just simply edit, otherwise I'll just keep going ahead like this. By the way, if I'm using shared CN, so I'd better just simply create a demo project and over there initialize shared CN so that I know how the things work and all. So again, there's gonna be a test project because I have to copy the configuration only, nothing else. So let's create a test folder, and inside this particular test folder, even I want to check how I can initialize Next.js using bun. So let's go to the Next.js website and do that. So this way we will even learn something new, and we'll get the job done too. So Next.js, just like this, we are here, click on this, click on get started, and it's time for the installation. I have to go with bun, and bun create next app. This is the name, my app, and then yes for all. Having said that, I will go only with this much. Bun create next app @latest. So bun create next app. Okay, that's separate. Bun create next app @latest. Hopefully I'll be asked for the name, or yeah, and that's gonna be the current directory only. Use a default or customize it. I'm gonna be customizing it. Would you like to use TypeScript? Yes. ESLint? Yes. Would you like to use React compiler? No. Tailwind? Oh, here we get a proper option to add the Tailwind directly, but when we use Turborepo, at that time it is not added. Never mind. So yes. Would you like to inside source or dir? Okay, doesn't really matter whether I have it there or not. Okay, and okay, and this is how it's gonna be ready, and everything else is going to be imported. What is the next thing that I have to do? I have to add a shared CN here. So shared CN, this is how it should be going ahead. And when it comes to this shared CN, so let's click on this, click on documentation, and now I'm gonna be going with the Next.js. So bun next bun shared CN init t next. This is the command that I have to run. Create a project. Once the project is created for a monorepo using this bunx bun shared CN init latest monorepo. But the thing is that this is going to be for creating the project. Add components, then we'll be adding the components like this. So I think this should be fine if I do it like this. Let's see. Control Shift V. Let's simply run this. Okay, then next thing is that select a component library, Redis or base. Going to go with the base. Build your own at this. Myra. I mean, there are many. I'm gonna be going with the top one. I don't know what I'm doing here. I just want it to be added here. That's it. I just selected some of the configurations options, and it's just simply gonna install the dependencies. And once the dependencies are actually installed, I should be getting it here. So as for shared CN, at least I don't have that yet, but soon I'm thinking I will have that. It's still installing the dependencies. There are gonna be many ones, so that's okay. Understandable that it is taking time. And the thing is that what I wanted to check over here, that is this particular section. So paths are deprecated, so let's sorry, this base URL is deprecated, so let's not worry about this. So inside ts config, what exactly gonna be added there? So if I check this ts config out right now, so this is how it looks like. Exclude, include, paths are added there, that is right. Paths are added here. @repo UI everything, @/everything, and then this particular thing. So ultimately we do need to add the path, so I think this should not be problematic. Even the installation is done right now, and as the installation is done, I should be getting this shared decision stuff here. So tailwind shared decision, yeah, I am getting that. And if I go with this much configuration, @everything, that is completely fine as well. Or I can say @repo UI, and that will be containing everything in the current directory. Also that's fine, this should be working hopefully. If I face the errors, I will be just checking it, but as for adding the path, let's simply add it here. And apart from this particular thing, what is the next thing that I have to do? Okay, so we've gone through this much. Configure global style, so I will have to go to the global styles.css, and over there I will have to paste these things. Again, they are nothing but the configuration given by shared decision. So let me copy it. Having said that, if you go to this particular project that I just initialized, and if you go to app and global css, all this configuration is already here. This configuration has been added by what? This configuration has been added by Shalician itself, and I'm just trying to do the same thing. So if you actually have a look over here, tailwind, ts animate, dark, and then everything else. And what is here? Tailwind, TWS, Shalician, tailwind CSS. So ultimately we have everything. Rather, I can even do this thing. Instead of getting it from there, I will just simply get it from here. So even this is gonna be possible, and yeah, that is it. So what can I actually do? I can go to this particular project, I can go to global.css over here, and I'll just simply replace everything. Again, where did I get it from? I got it from the normal shared CN project, where I actually just simply added it. What is the next thing that I can do once this much is done? Even I got this thing from the real project, that's great. After that, this defines color variables, theming, animation support, and all. Okay, add cn utility. For adding that, I will have to create a source folder. Inside source folder, I have to have this. So let's do that. So what do I have to do? Not quite a lot, just a little, and that's gonna be inside UI, create a file, name it like this, source lib utilities.ts. It's gonna be here, and once I'm inside this, I'm gonna be simply copying and pasting. Rather, I will not copy and paste from here, rather I will copy and paste from the main project that I initialized. So if I go to the lib, I go to the utilities, it's exactly the same thing whether you copy from there. Look, have a look at this. So it depends, like, okay, I'm copying it from here because it feels like you are copying from a main project. And why am I doing this? Because we have to configure everything manually, and that's the reason we are doing it. Okay, after that, component JSON file, I have to just simply update that as well. So the JSON file at the end of the day should be should look like this: schema JSON. And let me check the schema of this one, the normal project, this one. And what was the name of the file? Components.json, I think that's the name. Components. So the name is actually components.json. Come back to this one. Do I have components.json? Yeah, I do have it. And this is the URL, I mean configuration that I have. In this particular configuration, what am I doing? New York, false to components, @UI components, @UI components, repo, and here so I will have to use repo here for sure. So let me copy it. Either I can do that, I can copy from here, or I can go with this as well. So what is the difference between them? I have styles base Nova, New York style I have over here. That doesn't really matter. RCS, TSX, tailwind, do I have tailwind? Configure, configure CSS app. CSS is gonna be source style global.css. So the file is okay, that's great. Base color neutral, CSS variable true, prefix And apart from this particular thing, the next one is the icon library, that's already lucid. And when it comes to aliasage, so components is gonna be this components, utilities, UI, lib, hook, and the same way I have here. So ultimately we have everything that we need. The thing is that in Turborepo the paths are gonna be a bit different, nothing else. So I think inside my UI I have to create components.json right now. So let's simply create a components.json if I'm not wrong, and I have to just simply paste it here. Let's check it one more time. Exactly, is this what I'm supposed to do? Yeah. The second thing is that UI shared CN schema, I have to remove these if I'm not wrong, but let's see. Coming back to this main project over here, https UI shared CN schema.json. If I click on this, I am redirected here. Ultimately I get everything. Okay, coming back to this my main project, I have it like this. If I click on this, I'm shown all these things. The only thing that I think that needs to be done is to just simply remove these things, and this should be working. Let me check. Let me copy and paste it to the chat GPT. And should I remove this from schema? Not remote, yeah, remove. Yes, you should remove this from around. Okay, so that needs to be removed, and I'm gonna be doing the same thing. So it's no use having them here. So let's simply remove them, and this is how it should be working fine. Overall we have got it done as well. What is the next step that we have to do? Where is the block? Here it is. The next thing is that important tailwind note. Make sure your tailwind builder includes UI components by adding this to your main CSS file. So to my main CSS file, I'm just simply gonna say that it contains packages. Okay, so I have to go to my main global CSS file. So important, make sure your tailwind builder includes the UI components by adding this to your main CSS file. So go to this particular file, and I have to just simply add it there. This tells tailwind to scan and include all the class names from the UI source directly, otherwise they might get buzzed from the final CSS build. Okay, that's great, we are going to do that. So nothing, I have to just simply go here, and it turns out I have only this much inside tailwind CSS. And am I supposed to have only this much? Not really. That simply means I missed something really big. So if I go to oh, I pasted the things here. These things weren't supposed to be here, so sorry for that. Cut everything from here. Not everything, but yeah, most probably. But at the end of the day, I need to have shared CN here too. But for now, I'm gonna cut all these things from here, and they actually need to be inside that UI section. So inside this UI section, I have global.css, and I'm just simply gonna paste everything here. And lastly, I will paste this particular stuff that I was supposed to be doing. So add the red source and all. This tells Kelvin to scan and all, and you are done with UI setup. So UI in npx shared CN add button. If I try to add button, it should be working fine. Using shared CN components in Next.js project, I will have to initialize this as well. Okay, but let me do it this much. So sources, so I'm here, one step back, okay, one step back, then two step back, okay, two step back, then one step back again, okay, one step more back, then one step back again. So UI to packages, got it. Then go to UI, again going to the UI, then go to source, then oh, from there just simply add everything. Okay, that's fine. It's like I'm going up then coming back, and just to specify the paths and all. Okay, this much is done. What is the next thing? The next thing is that using shared CN components in Next.js projects, so modify UI package JSON to export your files properly. So from here I'm gonna be exporting them. So what am I gonna do? Exports global CSS, source style global CSS, post CSS config, I will be exporting this, lib I will be exporting this, everything. Hooks, source hooks, if I have them I will be exporting them. So ultimately this is how I will have it, like. So this is just the export section. That simply means I can go to this one, and I will have it somewhere here. and this should be fine. And export global CSS is being exported from here, and source styles global.css, post CSS, post config mjs, lib source lib everything. Do I have lib here? Yeah, not this particular. Hopefully, yeah, this is that one. No, yaar. Let me cut it from here. I'm messing up with many things. Sorry for that, because there are many same files, and because of that thing, it's getting confusing. I have to go to this package.json, and I have to add the exports over here. By the way, I'm directly exporting everything from here. Instead of doing that thing, I will just do it manually. So global CSS is being exported. Post CSS, lib. I don't even do I have lib? So inside this, at least right now inside UI, I don't have lib, but later of course I can create this. And I have lib, but I have that lib inside source. So okay, that source lib is inside source, that's fine too. And hooks are gonna be, I don't have hooks at all, but later I can just simply create them here, and I can export from here. Components and source components.tsx. I don't even have the components, but later I will be adding them here. So for that thing, I'll actually have to create a component folder. So let me create it right now. So components, just like this. I'll actually remove all these things. So button removed, card removed, code removed, all these things. So inside components I will create the components, and then similarly I will have something called hooks. So hooks, inside hooks I will create the hooks, and lib I already have, and the post CSS I already have the remaining things. So this is how things are actually going to be exported from here, at least setting up in Next.js app. So in Next.js app things are gonna be like this. So what I have to do, first of all, I have to get everything from UI. So I will go to my Next.js app. Hope I haven't messed up the things. So this is the app that I have. Once I'm inside this, I will go to the package.json, and I'm already getting everything from UI, so that's great. Apart from this particular thing, then I have to run npm install done. Export default from, so app web post css config, export default from @post config. So ultimately what am I doing? Instead of rewriting the configuration over here, I will be importing it from there, and I will be exporting from here. So this is actually that I'm doing here. It depends, either I'm gonna be doing this or I can just write it manually as well. But as I have written it once, I'm not gonna be writing it again. So inside post config.mjs, I'm gonna be just simply pasting this. If I just simply click on this, I'm redirected there. So it's like from here I'm importing it, and once it is exported, I'm exporting it again. So if I go here, exporting by default, and that is by the default thing I will get here. Once I get it here, I'll get it done. And @repo UI post css config, because we have described the path over here. So whenever we are exporting, so we are exporting a post css config like this, and all the file is being exported. Great job. Okay, once this is done, after that what do we have to do? So this, not this particular section, this thing we've done. Add path aliases. So update your ts config file. So inside ts config file, @repo UI everything, and this, it simply tells that whatever I have inside source, everything is going to be included inside that, and everything inside the current directory, that's also going to be included. So if I just simply copy it and go to the ts config inside the app, of course. So inside this, if I go to the ts config, I don't really have path over here. So at last I can just simply add the path to, and it's simply saying that everything from the current directory. So whatever there is inside source, we are including, we have that, and then from the repo UI section as well. Okay, got it. And update next config.ts. So inside next config.ts, I will have to make sure that ensure UI package is compiled. So transfile packages @repo UI. Let me check whether I'm doing that or not. So what is the name of the file? That is next config.js, and over here of course I'm not doing that. So I will have to add it here. So I'm gonna be just simply copying this thing as well and replace with this much. TS config, turns out it doesn't really get imported. Should be getting imported like this, not this, like this. I should be getting next config from there. So if I want to import next config, I should be importing it like this. So earlier it was, let me do one thing. So why was I getting this error once I imported it like this? What was the problem? Import declaration can only used in TypeScript files. This is JS, so let me make it TS. Now this is gonna be okay. Okay, apart from this particular thing, components JSON, I have to create this, and then of course I have to get rid of this, and the remaining things are gonna be fine. More specifically, I am configuring shared CN here manually, but I could have done it directly as well, and that's okay. Configure it manually, or do one thing, come back here, ls cd into this particular dir web ls. Once you are inside that, go to the shared CN, and this is the command. So once you have this particular command, next share. One more thing, for a monorepo, use a monorepo flag. Will it work directly or not? What if it actually works? Where do I have to run this particular thing? Next monorepo. Let me ask about this thing from the AI. Where do I have to run these commands and what they'll do? You should run commands in terminal inside. Okay, so monorepo, let's inside your Next.js or monorepo root. Okay, so where to run these commands? They are gonna be run in the root, and when I'm actually running them, so first of all, normal next project. So this is how I have to run that. Second is monorepo, like turborepo. So you have a structure like this. So run the command from monorepo root, and what will this do? So run it here, and my repo run command here, not inside a web app. What does the command does? This command initializes shared CNUI in your project. It will create configuration file, tailwind CSS, install required dependencies. What does this flag do? Wow. Had hai. Oh, I've been configuring everything manually. Like I've been doing that, and I can run one command, and that will do that for me. Great. I mean, now I know that at least after running the command, uh, you can install components like this. Oh, great job. The thing is that I just needed to run two commands, one for Next.js, one for monorepo. But what I did, I followed a blog, and from that blog, I actually just configured everything manually. Those things could have been configured directly too. But as I have done that, so let's not worry about this anymore right now. But next time onwards, when I'm actually doing that, so I will just run two commands, and the whole setup is going to be configured automatically. Now as I have already reached this far, so I will not worry about it. But okay, I could have just run this command and it would have done the job. क्या बात है भाई सच में. Okay, coming back to this, I just wanted to just configure it. So this is mainly gonna be for the Next.js. So at least I could unconfigure the UI dir under packages, but of course I can configure this web section. So ls, add this Banex. Okay, this should be fine, and everything should be done. Redis versus this. Let me ask this. Last time I actually selected base. What should I select? Okay. What should I select? I'm gonna be running both the commands in the root dir, right? Oh, not root dir. That is okay, fine. You should select Redis UI. What Redis UI is versatile and is designed to work with by default. Okay, I'm gonna be selecting this and then gonna be going ahead. So let's simply click on this Nova Vega. So what about now? Which one do I need to select? Paste. Which one now? I will run the same command, that monorepo command too, this time in the root dir. Why Nova, Lucid VF and all. Okay, let's continue. I mean, you don't really need to do anything. Ooh, great job. The thing is that no Tailwind CSS configuration found at this. Tailwind CSS configuration. It is likely you do not have Tailwind CSS installed or have an invalid configuration installed Tailwind CSS. Then from the guide, no imports are found at all. That is okay. First of all, let me run this command in the root dir as well. This is the root dir, and this is the command for shared monorepo. So if I actually run this particular command, something went wrong. Please check the error below for details. If the problem persists, please open an issue on GitHub. The thing is that I configured it on my own, and because of that thing, now I'm gonna be facing the issues. Interesting stuff. This models I don't really need it, and I'm just afraid that I'll have to reinitialize the project again, because most of the things I configured on my own, and for that thing I had proper commands, and as I have configured that on my own, there are few configuration that are not optimized, and because of that thing I'm getting the error. Again, it will not be taking a lot of time, just 10 minutes of time, and that's it. But inside styles, so let's do it, and let's see what result will I be getting at the end. It's gonna be pretty simple in the sense that's gonna be again test folder. So if I'm learning, so let me learn now properly, and that's gonna be Google Meet, right? So this is gonna be the test folder inside that. If it works great, then I'm gonna be making it primary one, but for now the name should be what? Let's name it Google Meet only. Google Meet, just this much, so that it has a proper name too. And once I'm inside this, I will be initializing Turborepo. The main focus is not gonna be authentication right now or using BetterAuth and all, because we have already configured that. The main focus is actually gonna be on initializing Shadowsea and Tailwind CSS and all. And not only that, we will just simply run some commands, and those commands are gonna be getting the configuration section done. So Banex create turbo @latest. I think this is how it just simply goes on. That should be in the current directory. One. It should not be taking a lot of time, but don't know whether it will take or not. But okay, let's wait and watch. Meanwhile, this is the documentation of Shadowsea. Shadowsea, they have actually configured, I mean, they have described everything. So inside installation section, Banex Shadowsea, okay, do this, And apart from this particular thing, I have Next.js, I have white, this. So what do I want to go with? I want to go with the Next.js, and once I go with the Next.js, I have the command for the Next.js project, and for a monorepo project, use this monorepo flag. So this is how I'm gonna be going ahead. But I'm gonna be running this, and let's see what's gonna happen after that. Then I can just simply add the things. Uh, Starting new project, use shared C and create for fully configured Next.js app with custom themes, base UI, and or Redis and icon libraries. So shared C and create, if I'm starting a new one. So if I actually go with this, I'm initializing it over here. If I select white, and this is again for both. This is for normal, wheat, white, whatever you call that, and then this. And by the way, we can click on this and get started from here on. Oh, this is what it provides. We'll explore it, not really big problem. This comes from the shared CN section. Okay, got it. Okay, by the way, it has been initialized. What will I do next? ls, by the way, it is asking for some of the things, remote caching and all. Yesterday I ran the same command, so let me do it again, so that okay, this gets done. What else? npx turbo link, control shift c, control shift v, just simply connect it. Yes, it's gonna be there. Okay, this is done. Apart from this particular thing, I don't even know how it works. Seriously. I'm just simply enabling the remote caching. How it works and all, I have no idea. And by the way, the next command that should be go to the documentation, go to the installation section, and once you are in the installation section, select next, and then I am gonna be selecting this particular command. And once I'm here, control shift v, let's do it. Let's see what's gonna happen. Redis, Nova. No such file or directory open. So package UI components.json. So it is mainly for packages UI components.json, and there is no directory as such. So there is no components.json. Let me delete this. So the same problem I had there too, in this particular section, right? So not this particular section, this particular section. Over here, I already had a UI components.json, and this component.json contained this much. So if you actually wanna initialize this, this should be there. And when it comes to this, so everything is already here. So when I actually try to run this command, what was the issue here? Redis. Oh, problem is here. Sorry, I selected something else here, right? Yeah. So what should I be doing? Base URL, neutral CSS, Redix Nova. I'm gonna be selecting. I'm gonna be removing the node modules that I had. Package JSON. Post CSS. This. Repo node. This fine. Components and everything else is okay. What is the next thing that I'll be doing? Coming back to this particular section. This should be fine. I mean, let's see. Run, install. Everything is going to be installed, and once everything is installed, I will try to run it again. Hopefully, okay, I will get the error, that is for sure. We'll try to resolve this. So no such file or directory. Open this. Is this because of this name? Probably. So let me close this, and this. Come back to this particular section, projects, the name, meet. What else? I think naming convention does matter a lot. So Google Meet app. Okay, this thing is done. And the same kind of error I was getting earlier. Okay, let me open that one as well. This particular section, if I open with the code, I have package, I have UI, I have this much, right? Nothing else. So if I try to run the same command here, Control Shift V, burn this. Okay, now it is saying that meet Google Meet, this this particular directory you not found. So let me do one thing. Let me copy everything. Sorry, take a screenshot. Once that is taken, go to the chat GPT, paste it here. What is the problem? Okay, the error is happening because shared CNC like expects component JSON file in a package or UI package, but it doesn't exist yet. So that's okay. The error message shows this clearly that this is actually happening. Why this happened? Next this from monorepo root, which is correct, but your package UI package has not been initialized for shared CN yet. So it tried to use that but failed. So what can be the fix? The fix can be key. You are first of all going to this and then you are initializing this. You do not need a T next here, because this package is just the shared component library, not Next.js. And once this is expected result is gonna be, there's gonna be component, there's gonna be this, there's gonna be this, then and install dependencies like Lucid and Radix UI. After that Bunex shared CN at the list add, you can just simply add it. So this is how it is just simply asking me to go with the things, but there is a problem. I don't want to go with this way. So let me do one thing, and that is installation of shared CN. This is Next.js shared CN normal page. This is the one. Normally I need to have only this much, right? Nothing else. Then I can just simply pick some of the frameworks. That's another case. But one more thing, even if I go to the packages cd UI, it will still not work, and I know this thing. How do I know? I don't know. How do I know? But I knew. The thing is simple. This is not the setup that I have. This is not the Next.js setup or React setup, and because of that thing, it will not be able to do anything. We could not detect a supported framework. Yeah, that's the same error we are getting here. So here we are. Now what is the next thing? The next thing is the last thing that is remaining, that is configuring everything on your own. I thought that does it have anything for shared CN over here? Sorry, monorepo. Shared CN with a monorepo. Let's see. Monorepo shared CN UI. Okay, and monorepo, and I'm gonna be using bun shared CN. Canary. Okay, okay. Select Next.js. Once Next.js is actually selected, so what am I supposed to be doing here? Interesting stuff. So to create a new monorepo project, run init command, you will be prompted this. So you will have to select Next.js, and then this is how you can do it. And you can just simply add the stuff once that is done, and you can go ahead with the things. You can create these things inside source folder and all. Once that is done, great job. let me do one thing. Inside this I'm gonna be creating components.json, paste it here. Once it is pasted, check out the code. Checked out the code. What is the next thing? Right, run the same command. Right. Ah, the problem is not that. The problem is this. What is this problem? Even before, if I go, earlier it was saying that it doesn't have the components there. Now it is saying that it doesn't have this inside a web. So what will I do? Same thing, bro. I will even go to the web app. Components dot done. Yeah, something is happening. So what did I do? It's about really simple, right? So first of all, I did not do this. So first step I did not go with this. Next.js monorepo I did not even do this. The only thing that I did, that file structure. So below that, requirements. So every workspace must have component.js file, a package JSON file tells npm how to install dependencies, components JSON file, file tells the CLI and where, blah blah blah. And then ultimately, if you are using Tailwind 4, so sorry, both the things are same or not? Not the same, not the same, not the same. Thank God I got the error. I was I was crazy. I could have copied this and I could have pasted it here. So ultimately there are separate files for both. Next.js will have some this kind of configuration, and the UI package and this particular section will have this kind of configuration. Again, I'm just simply copying and pasting everything from here. And once I've copied and pasted both the things, so ensure you have style blah blah blah, and then tailwind css4, tailwind css4. Let me run that command again, and hopefully this is gonna be right this time. Okay, one error that I got, and that is inside UI source styles I don't have global.css, so that is the issue. So ultimately overall things are gonna be fine. So what will I do? I can go to my main project. This was just the testing project. What is the main project? Hopefully this is the main project, and inside this I have almost everything. So what will I do? By the way, they have already specified the proper structure. So before running these commands, you need to have this structure here. So inside web you have to have a page, then components, login form.tsx, then components and all. Inside UI you need to have components, button.tsx, hooks, label, utilities, styles, global.css and all. We already have this in this particular section. So if I run this, before even that, if I go to the components.json over here, what I'll do, I'll come here, I'll paste the second part, copy the second part, Control A, Control V, done. Similarly here, copy. Don't I have components.json over here? Interesting, I don't have that. So what will I do? What will I do? I will copy. So not this. Components.json, just like this, paste it here. This is fine. And once this is fine, then just simply run the command. So ls, what is the command that I need to run? The command is actually how to initialize Turborepo. So monorepo is here, installation is here, select the Next.js. So monorepo was just below, right? Monorepo. Tailwind, yeah, monorepo is just somewhere here. But never mind. Coming back to this installation, I'm gonna be selecting Next.js. I'm gonna be selecting. Missed something. Definitely you did. Click on installation, click on Next.js. Is this what I was having earlier? Installation. This is not the one. You are viewing v3 docs. Switch to latest. Oh, I have to switch to the latest one. And in the latest one, they don't have this monorepo section here. Earlier they had. Right now they don't have. Wow. And they needed the components.json file, so I went there and just simply copied and pasted. Once that is done, I can click on the next this and Laravel. I mean, they have everything, but they don't have monorepo here directly. So if I just simply search monorepo, so this is the one that I got. And where is this coming from? Okay, so this monorepo section is at the end. Come on, yaar. Can't they just keep somewhere from where it's actually visible directly? Having said that, Bun did this initialize monorepo and then select Next.js and then do this. What if I have to configure it on my own? If you want to configure it on your own, so you need to have this. So copy it and let's go to the, I mean, this is from the new version, a new update. So Control X, Control V. So this is how it's gonna be going on. And then similarly, I will have another for UI. So I'm gonna be back here and components.json, Control A, Control V. This is how it's gonna be going on. Now whether there's any change or not, that doesn't really matter. But the thing is that this is actually coming from version what? Forget about the version, but this is the latest version. What do I have to do next? The next thing is that bun at the latest init monorepo. Either you can do this or you can just simply go to the top, click on the installation part. You have to select Next.js, and if you are using monorepo, select this one. Go to the base command. I'm over here, base dir, root dir, and just simply run this particular command and let's see what happens. So Redux this Nova. Oh, let's see what errors we are gonna be getting now. Oh. Ooh. It's been too much. Never mind. How long have I been live for? It's been 1 hour and 17 minutes. That's great. 1 hour 17 minutes. That simply means I have to be live for half an hour more. 17, 20. Yeah, half 20, 35 minutes. That is it. The good thing is that it actually got done. Everything got done. Nothing could be better than this. Let me do the same thing there. The thing is that I will have to create the folders and all before even getting anything done. So let me exit this, and so that next time onwards I don't get stuck here. Next time onwards I know what is done, how is it's done, and that's it. Everything's done. Coming back to this one, and this is gonna be monorepo, 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 monorepo. ओए किधर गया ये? मोनोरिपो, मोनोरिपो, मोनोरिपो. हैं? भाग गया? I just had it here if I'm not wrong. Here it is, yeah. I can't see. I'll have to use the glasses and all. Coming back to this one. First of all, this is the folder structure that I need to have. Inside web, I need to have page.csx. I need to have components login form.tsx. Let me even create this. So login form.tsx, this is gonna be actually a component. So okay, I can have this component. So coming back to this particular section, I hope this is the one. And I think this is not even required, but why not? Let's simply have it. So components, and that's gonna be login form component. So login form.tsx rfc, just like this. Login form. So this is how it's gonna be going ahead. Close this, and once this is done, after that, components json, package json. Oh, as for package json, this components I need to copy it. Copied. Once it is copied, and then what else? There is something called inside web. There is nothing. So why do I need to do? I need to do something that is inside this components.json file. I have to replace the code, And apart from this particular thing, same thing needs to be done in this particular section as well. So let me copy it, go to the UI, select everything and replace that. Once this is done, then I need to maintain the folder structure. So inside UI I need to have source, and this I mean I need to have these many things. So okay, that's not bad. So first of all I need to have components, I already have. Then I need to have source, I already have. Inside source I'm gonna be removing these buttons from here. Okay, they've been removed. After that I need to have components button.tsx, so that next time onwards I can create the components. So dot that components.tsx. Oh, how good I am at this. .tsx components.tsx, that is just actually a folder this much. And just below that I'm gonna be creating button.tsx, so that I can just have an example too. Button.tsx. so this is how it's gonna be going ahead, and this is inside that. Okay, that's fine. Apart from this particular thing, I need to create some of the hooks. So inside source, hooks, and inside hooks I will have nothing. Then I have to create something called lib, and hopefully all the utils.ts, the code is going to be written by the command itself. So utils.ts, I have to just simply create the structure. Styles.css, that should have a global.css. So actually source and styles, just here I can have global.css, or just this much should be fine. And once I have configured it correctly, what else do I have to do? Go to the top, click on installation, click select Next.js, select this monorepo, one selected, ls, control paste, done. That's it. Oh, what is the problem? No such file or directory. Packages, UI, source, styles, globals. So it should be globals. Sorry for that. One more time. Something went wrong. Please check the error below. If the problem persists, okay. Undefined is not an object. Evaluating child or proxy of. Skipped two files. Workspace UI components button.tsx and this utils.tsx. They've been skipped. Others been updated. Let's check the updated ones. Global.css. Nothing is here. It's been skipped. Util. It's been skipped. Hook. There's nothing. Components. Turns out there's actually nothing. Okay. So this problem I'm getting in a project that hasn't been configured at all. Rather, over there I've been taking the help of the documentation only. So let's see if I missed something or something needs to be added. I missed, that means that is definitely needs to be added. Setup is almost correct. The error you see is coming from a shared CNCLI is trying to modify a CSS file in the wrong place. So updating source styles global CSS, but in Turborepo shared UI package that file should not exist in package and the global CSS should belong to the Next.js app, not the UI package. So because of this the CLI cache crashes with this undefined. This is a known bug in the shared CNCLI with monorepo. With what is actually bugged? You initialized mostly succeed. Initialization succeeded. Components this. So the important files were created. The crash only happens while trying to patch the CSS. Fix recommended. Delete the CSS inside UI package. So global CSS. The global style should live here instead. so it needs to be here, because Next.js handle global CSS. Update components.json. Package UI components.json, and ultimately it needs to be getting a global CSS from there. Okay, so ultimately I do have that, don't I have components.json. So I'm just simply saying that this actually comes from there, and if I go to the top, I'm simply saying it comes from this particular section. So this is fine too, like I'm gonna be importing everything there, and this particular CSS will be imported here, and this is fine. But if I want this to happen, I need to have everything there, and if I want to have everything there, I need to have tailwind CSS here. And for now, package.json, I don't really have tailwind CSS here, and it even fails to do anything. In that case, this is the monorepo setup. It should be working fine. Button. And as for this monorepo section, if I go with this particular section here, monorepo, so until now you are using this. The next thing can be you are just simply initializing it directly, bun shared cn and all. How about this? Initialize it and copy and paste the things. That is okay too. This will create new monorepo project with your workspace, web UI and turbo with a system. Everything is set up for you, so you can start adding components to your add components. So ultimately it will create, right? Let me do this. You will do the job. I will copy and paste. So what will I do? Again, testing time. Let it generate, and once it is actually generated, I'll test, remove it, test. Meanwhile, I will even get the chance of running this command, and from this particular command, whatever gets generated, so whatever I need, because that's gonna be fully optimized one and ready one. So let's see what result am I gonna be getting from here. Should be bun shadisian @latest init monorepo project will be initialized. Next.js 10 stack blah blah blah. Next.js readers nova. Get it done, bro. It should be in the current directory. Arey bhai, something went wrong. Please check the error below. If problem persists. Okay, not a problem. How about if I select like this, you still get the error. Okay, not a problem. I'm gonna be selecting new one. Okay, new one is gonna be initialized over here. Not really big problem. But the thing is that what is the benefit of it? It will give me whole ready project over there. Everything is configured, so I will check whether that thing is actually working or not. And once that is checked, after that I'm gonna be just simply copying and pasting in my main project. Simple as that. Let's see what a result we are gonna be getting from here. It's actually a good one, yeah. They are using prettier file, prettier ignore. I just forgot. I did not even have them in my mind. So right now, of course, I'm gonna be using them. So what a good thing. Turborepo project, because we have already worked on our main project, so we will not leave that behind. Rather, we will be going with that only. We'll get the inspiration from here. We'll copy paste the code and get it done. So this is how it's gonna be going on. Creating on if Next.js Pro, this may take a few minutes. Okay, it's been 1 hour 30 minutes. 1 hour 30 minutes. If I want, after 10 minutes I can end this, because at the end of the day it will be equivalent to 3 hours. But okay, let's be here, or at least today I will get the setup ready. Let's, doesn't matter how long it takes. Once the setup is ready, then slowly we can switch to the main business logic stuff. Things take time. I don't like this at all. Let me keep my mobile here for good network connectivity. Oof. And the another thing is that inside packages I'm getting these many files, and what is the use of these files? I have no idea. Maybe they are just here for now. They'll be removed later. So yeah, things are actually being initialized, and because of that things look like this, and slowly should be just getting configured. Prettier ignore, it's going to ignore this much. This. Okay. It turns out it's gonna be taking time. That's it, nothing else. Okay, it's around 11:14. Let me restart it again. I mean, I can't even do that. I'll have to let it finish, and otherwise it's going to be interrupted in between, and that's not gonna be good. Meanwhile, what else am I supposed to do? I don't know why it is taking so much time. Is there any GitHub? Turborepo. Apps, web, package shared, apps, docs. I mean, Turborepo is really a good setup. Is there any deployment related stuff on Turborepo? So like, okay, we built the project. How about deploying? Is there any core concepts, guides? Continuous integration, Vercel. Oh, hey, nothing. Not this one. Tools, Docker, Prisma. It's been, everything's been described here. Okay. Framework, Next.js. How we can use it with the Next.js and all. How about deployments? If I go to the Turborepo and if I search deployment here, because at the end I'll have to go with this anyhow. So deployment using the wrong environment variables. Configure task. Constructing CI. Turbo run build affected. Okay, I think that's not been that hasn't been mentioned here directly, but there should be that option to exactly how you can deploy Turborepo. I hope they have mentioned it. Otherwise, I'll have to deploying in the sense you can get the build files and you can deploy them directly. But apart from this particular thing, so where did I click? This is the crafting your repository, and that must be the which section? Crafting your repository, that's just the top one. Installation, start with example, did this, guides, Next.js and all. It just keeps going on and all. But ultimately I need to be back here, crafting your repository, structured repository, managing dependencies, and this is how things actually go on. They have described everything exactly how it works and all. So okay, you can just simply go with that. Managing dependencies, creating internal packages. So shared packages are gonna be here. Configure the task, running tasks, caching, developing applications, cached persistent, dev cache false persistent true. Well, there's a lot that I still have to know about it, but overall things are okay. I mean, I hope by this time that has been, wow, isn't this crazy? Let me do it one more time. That is Nova. the file already exists. In that case I'll have to delete this. Don't know for what reason it took this much time. I have a lot of things to do, and the thing is that if I start working on any project, I don't want to directly jump into this. Rather, I want to get the whole setup ready properly, so that that's gonna be actually a production ready application. So even if that is a something called like video calling app that I'm building, but ultimately backend should be properly optimized. Things should be properly configured correctly, so that in future if I want to work more on that, and if I want to make that a bigger one, things are there. Things are already ready. Creating new Next.js project, this may take few minutes. So ultimately, this is the name that's gonna be, and then it will be creating. Don't know how long it's gonna be taking. So for now things are fine. As for this thing, okay, this is installing dependencies. I mainly wanna check how it's gonna be looking like and all. And I have to do the same thing in the evening as well. Same thing in the sense I have to get the setup ready for the tech project to do. So the same thing is gonna be done there. So I just hope that in the morning I'm able to resolve this, so that in the evening I can just simply continue with that. But let's see. Okay, the installation is gonna be taking time. So right now I'm just simply gonna be stopping it a bit. Once this is done, then I'll be back and I'll continue from here on. And whenever I'm gonna be going live the next time, it will mainly start from here, and I will get the remaining things done. So it's not like I'm gonna be going for a long time. It's around few minutes, not few minutes. After 10 to 15 minutes, I'll be back here again, and then we will just simply start it from here onwards only. And I think by that time, even this installation will be done. And once this is done, then we'll continue. So that was it for now. I'm gonna be catching up very soon, maybe within 10 to 15 minutes or something. Until then, take care, bye bye, and see you.